Look, what we're saying for 2019 is that Fortnite remains very strong, and we think that the Battle Royale genre remains very strong as well. I mean, Fortnite was the game that took the world by storm in 2018. It's official, as I think many parents and investors have suspected. It was the biggest revenue generator of any game in history at $2.4 billion. I think that Epic has put on a master class in how to engage an audience over time. They're releasing this free content. There's always something new to play. The 14 days of Fortnite, there's new challenges. It's fun to play with your friends. And so we think in 2019, we put out 10 big predictions yesterday. We think Fortnite does remain strong and the Battle Royale genre for this year.
And you also make a point of saying that these free-to-play games are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that some of the companies that have heretofore eschewed those types of games may get into them. Now, it's not that they don't make money, because then you pay for extras and so forth, right?
That's right. It's one of the big paradoxes of video games is that the free games tend to be the biggest and the most profitable. And so one of our number one prediction for 2019 is that Activision announces a big free-to-play game. We see with Fortnite at the $2.4 billion, just to put it in some perspective, there were a big game from Activision or EA like Call of Duty or FIFA will sell over 20 million units a year. Those are enormous numbers. Fortnite in August had over 78 million people play that game, 200 million downloads. It's very hard to compete against free. And what we see in 2018, our stock view is actually becoming more selective. And we do think that free games like Fortnite will pressure microtransaction growth for existing full-price games like FIFA.
So Fortnite has been a thorn in the side of both the publicly traded video game makers as well as Netflix. If some of the publicly traded ones were able to release some sort of freemium model video game that could sort of be on par with Fortnite and even compete on some level with Netflix, maybe not beat Netflix on most nights, but maybe actually provide some competition, will that beg the question, shouldn't these guys have a better valuation?
Well, look, we've seen multiples completely re-rate in the past couple months. It's like when you go to sell your house. If the neighbor's house just sold at $100 a foot, it's hard to ask for $300 a foot for yours. I can't argue with where the multiples are, but one of the things that we think is that in a world where games are free, there's going to be fewer of them, and the winners will be much bigger. So we think that getting into free games does look inevitable for a lot of these big publishers. And frankly, one of the other predictions that we're making is that 2019 will be the biggest M&A year that we've seen since 2016 for the video game sector. It's clear that video games is taking market share away from every other form of media. You've got Netflix talking about it.
Are the buyers, the Amazons, the Netflixes, the Apples, the Googles, are outside of the sector?
There's a couple buyers. It's big tech. You see Amazon, Microsoft, and Google all rolling out new streaming services kind of designed to stream games from the cloud. It's media, so you think a traditional media company would be interested. We saw Vivendi try to take out Ubisoft a couple years ago. And it's, maybe some other tech companies. There's been a lot of acquisitions coming out of China.